Hello and welcome to another video. Today we are going to talk about 5 amazing AliExpress cycling tools. Among those items are tools that you can take on your rides as well as that uplift your maintenance and bike building experience. And some of the items that I found are just incredible value for money. But before we jump into the first item, let me disclose to you that I have not been sponsored by any of the brands mentioned in this video. None of these brands know that I'm going to make this video, so all of the thoughts are truly my own. And with that out of the way, let's jump into the first item. The first item that we are going to talk about is a little set of items, and it is something that I've talked about in a previous video of mine. It is sort of the basis of every maintenance kit, and that is a solid hex key set like this one. This is a pretty cheap version that you can find for, I think, less than 10 bucks on AliExpress. I've used them for a couple of years and I was looking to upgrade my experience when using Allen keys. So I went on AliExpress in order to find something better than this, and I found it. And that is this Ride Race hex key set. This is truly a step up in terms of quality and user experience when you compare these two sets. These are cheap, do the trick, but are rather basic. And on the other hand, we have this, a T-type hex key set. So T-type means that you have a sort of like a T-form and you have a adjustable top part that makes it very easy for you to get in every little nook and cranny. And also what it allows you is to have more leverage on the bolts, and especially if something is stuck, these are really coming in handy. This Ride Race hex key set includes 8 different sizes, ranging from 10mm at the largest end to 2mm on the smallest end. And that should pretty much cover all of your hex key bolts on your bike. As you can see, it also comes with this really nifty tool hanger that you can hang on your wall, screw into the wall, or put on a pegboard, which I will do soon. So let's go over what I really like about the set. And that is that the steel is really well made. I have never rounded any bolts with these ones. The material used for these hex keys is definitely hard enough. What you sometimes have with cheaper tools is that the steel is a bit too soft, and that can lead to rounding of your bolts and rounding of your tools as well. This I don't think will ever happen with these ones because it is rather tough steel. The user experience is also something I really like. First of all, you have the adjustable top handle, which is really nice, especially for bottle cage bolts, as these can be on a very tight angle. What I also like is that you have this little cover here, and the cover rotates, so you can sort of just grab the cover and then with ease you can screw in or out your bolts, so that is quite nifty. The whole set feels really premium. Both the tool hanger and the tools feel very sturdy, very well made, and they are definitely an upgrade from cheaper sets. And with that we get to one of the negative aspects of this set, and that is that there is no bearings for the cover here. So you just twist it and it's sort of like a little bit wobbly on here, and this can lead to a bit of a squeaking sound from time to time, as you can hear. That sort of cheapens the experience a little bit, but I still think in terms of value for money, these are still a really great option. If you compare this set to other T-handle sets from companies such as Park Tool, this costs about a third or a fourth of the Park Tool one. Of course, I'm sure the Park Tool one will be even better quality, but the problem is that I really don't want to justify 120, 130 bucks for a T-handle set. So in terms of value for money, I think this is a really, really great upgrade that will really improve your bike building and bike maintenance experience. And with that being said, let's get to item number 2. The next item on the list is something that I'm particularly excited about, and that is one of my favorite items I might have ever gotten from AliExpress, and it is something you can take on your ride. It is in this little pouch here. So if I unpack this little thing, it is this West Biking portable wrench kit. This is such a cool item that I never thought I would get from AliExpress. As the name suggests, it is a little wrench set with tire levers that you can take with you on your ride or your bikepacking trips in order to be better prepared for whatever might come on your ride. So let's take this thing apart. You basically have 2 tire levers on each side. That is already really helpful. And these are not cheap at all. Like, these are from really, really tough plastic. If you compare them to the blue, I think Schwalbe ones, they break off all the time, but these will definitely not. And I've also changed maybe like 2 or 3 tires already. Very, very handy and work very well. But this is definitely the main character of the show. So if you slide out this little wrench lever, you can just take it off. And on the other side, you have the head of the wrench kit. Then you just stick it together And then you can open this little thing right here and you have a full bit kit. And this little kit includes pretty much all of the sizes of Allen keys that you need on the road, but also a T25, a T30, a flathead screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver. So really, this is like a full set for on the road. And now is the best part. The whole set weighs less than 200 grams. So there's pretty much no significant weight penalty when choosing this full kit instead of a mini tool. That is quite nice. So let's take the T25 here, stick it in this assembly, and you can see it works very well. There's a little mechanism that you have to pull this one back, and then you can take out the bit, which is really nifty, so you will not lose the bit heads on the road. Also, if you need a little bit more leverage, you can also just take this one out, put the bit into the top part directly, and then you have a bit more leverage if you might need it. Now, just putting everything together is pretty easy. You just clip it together, pull this one out, stick it in here, then you put the head on this little swivel thing, swivel in, locked in, put the tie levers back, and boom, you're ready to go. So this thing, really nifty package. And now comes the best part. Even though it is quite nifty and the construction quality is amazing, the whole thing costs about 15 US dollars. So it's not even expensive at all. It's like pretty cheap for something like this. If you look at comparable sets from Vera or other tools, like this is maybe a third, probably even less than all of the other tools, especially in this form factor. So yeah, to me, this might be the best purchase I've ever made on AliExpress. Such a cool item, always gives me joy when I have to use it. It just looks cool, it feels great, and it is not expensive. This is pretty much what AliExpress is all about. With that out of the way, let's get to the next item. The next item on the list is something that is becoming increasingly important as the brakes change on our bikes. You very rarely have the cable actuated brakes of the past. These days, you most often have hydraulic disc brakes. And well, we've all seen kits like this. You basically just get a little pouch and well, in there, unsorted and unorganized. And in that you pretty much have all of the items to bleed any brake kit, be it SRAM, Shimano or Campagnolo. But yeah, this sucks to work with and I found a better alternative. It is from the same brand, so Easy Mountain Bike. And it is this, a little casing with all of the materials that you need in order to bleed any brake out there. So if we open up this little bleed kit, boom, boom, you can see that we have pretty much everything. We have the different syringes that you need for the SRAM system, and you also have the little adapters that you need for the SRAM system. You have clips in order to stop and start the bleed process. You have the necessary funnels, of course, and you also have all of the adapters for the funnels. So this is truly an all-in-one set. If we continue, you also have the brake blocks. Those are really nifty sometimes. And all of the various adapters. Then what is really nice is that the set comes with its own dedicated mini tool. So you have a little bit set, and the bit set is in a little storage box and this cute looking small mini tool. Furthermore, you have some gloves, also important when you work with toxic liquids. And you have the little 7mm Allen key so that you can screw on and off the brake lines for SRAM. And some other bits and bobs that, yeah, I also don't really know what to do with. But what I can tell you is that this set, which costs about 25 US dollars, has everything you need in order to bleed any brake. And for the price, this is really nifty. And it is nice to be able to put everything in one box. Bleeding your brakes is still an annoying and a messy job, but having the right tools is pretty much 95% of the work done. So this little brake bleed set pretty much covers you for all of the situations. So also big recommendation, easy MTB brake bleed set. The next item comes in a big box, and that is something that you need if you have any kind of press fit bearings, either be it wheel sets, be it bottom brackets, be it links on your mountain bike, whatever it may be. This set is pretty much everything you need in order to press in and out any type of press fit bearing. This set comes in this box, as you can see, and we have the tool that is sometimes a bit hard to get out. So let's try and get it out. It consists of these two pullers that you have to get apart, and then you have all the different bearings here. And if you take a look at this case, you have bearings for pretty much all of the different sizes that, yeah, you might encounter on your maintenance journey. I think the small ones are mostly for wheel sets and for mountain bike linkages, but for press fit bottom brackets, you also have some of the larger sizes here. This is a 30 by 42. This is, I think, for BB86, if I'm not mistaken. Really nice. I also gotta say that the tool feels quite nice in the hand, so it definitely does what it's supposed to do, and it swings quite nicely. The quality of the tool itself and all of the little adapters here is pretty great. I think this is aluminum, and none of the items here have any sharp edges. As you can see on the B-roll shots, they are also all beveled, so they feel really nice in the hand. As to the case though, I have to say I was expecting a bit more. As you can see here, the first flap broke already. I didn't do it, it came like that. And the second one, that doesn't really close at all. So yeah, not great. And you can order this bearing press with or without the tool. I'm not really sure if I would go for the box again, but on the other hand, it would also be annoying to have all of these 30 or so adapters flying around. That would be not great either. It is not the cheapest tool out there. It is not the most expensive tool out there. This whole set with the box came in at around 45 US dollars. I would say reasonable for what you get. If you have bearings on your bike, or especially if you want to do a full service on your wheel set, then I can really recommend this one. That to the last item. The last item is a bit of a niche item, and it was actually recommended to me by you or some of you viewers. And that has to do with the biking industry having so many different standards. Sometimes you need this size, sometimes you need that size. It is never really that obvious, and sometimes it really helps if you can measure the sizes yourself. And for that, I've gotten a digital caliper from AliExpress. This is from a brand called Shahi, and it works really well. Obviously, I don't have a way to measure the precision of this tool, but for the purposes that I use it for example, seeing what my diameter my seat post is, or my handlebars, or whatnot, this definitely does the trick. You have a little wheel here that you can use it in order to increase or decrease the size, and then here on the digital gauge it tells you exactly how far apart the two prongs are. I would definitely not put this item on the list of things you have to have, but if you have it, you find so many great uses for it. I've had this item for maybe 3 weeks now, and I used it like 20 times already in order to measure so many different things. And for the about 20 US dollars or so, I can really recommend it. Also, what is nice is that you have a conversion cheat sheet here on the back. That is quite nifty, especially because in the biking industry, some things are in inches, some things are in centimeters, millimeters. Sometimes you have 55 millimeter tires, sometimes it's a 2.1 inch or whatever. This really helps to make sure what kind of thicknesses and sizes are on your bike. So, if you're interested in any of the items I've talked about today, check out the links in the description down below. Those are affiliate links, so you do help out the channel, which I really appreciate. And in any case, have a great week. Bye bye.